So recently I posted something online about how God uses tattoos to protect people and to mark people for protection. And there are a bunch of different places in the Bible that talk about it, from Ezekiel 9, 1 to 11, Galatians 6, 17, Genesis 4, 15. But you know what? It doesn't mean a whole lot until we bring it into the real world. I'm going to take a look at a song by Yelawolf and Eminem called Best Friend. The setting is in a church. It begins out in the wild. It begins out in this field with a wolf wandering around, and all it makes me think about is Benjamin and how Benjamin is sort of left out in the wilderness, and the Apostle Paul is a Benjamite. So if you sort of follow the line of thinking here, as a Benjamite, somebody who's marked for protection, is out in the wilderness, and Benjamin is a ravenous wolf who collects during the day and divides at night. You have this concept of the Apostle Paul, and it actually fits Galatians 6:17. To me, it also fits Cain in Genesis 4:15. But this song, you got to listen to this song. Watch this video. It says, it starts with, ain't never been much the church type. I'll tell you what, if you were cast out of the church and you were marked for protection and you were not part of it, you wouldn't be much of a church type either. He says he believes in the last days, he walks through hell, and he believes that that's a pathway. And that makes me think of something that Jelly Roll talks about. He's got a tour right now, Backroad Baptism. It's this idea of following the back roads and following the less known path, and that's the narrow path that not many people find. That's going the other way, right? That's the wilderness. This is something that's really profound, though. We're going to get into tattoos here. It says, say boy, what you doing with your life with those tattoos on your face? And he says, say boy, you know that you'll pay the price. Well, I guess I'll see when I head that way to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You think this guy's not singing about God? He's singing about God. Later on in the video, Eminem even points out, hey, look, you wondering who we're talking about here? We're talking about God. To the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I hold you nearest, my best friend. His best friend, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's what he's talking about. So he's saying, hey, look, church, I'm in the church right now. I'm talking back to you saying, you're judging me by having tattoos on my face. You know what? We'll see when I go to my best friend, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's big. It's profound. Pay attention to that. He's talking about tattoos. Tattoos are for protection. He's got a cross tattoo on his neck. The Bible talks about having tattoos on your forehead for protection. I mean, that's what this is all about. What do you think discipleship actually is? You have to hate your family, and then only then you can carry your own cross. What do you think a cross is? Do you think it's two wooden beams? It's not two wooden beams. It's the cross of life. It's moving over. It's from one side to the other. It's paying attention and having to sing behind a microphone and stand on a stage like a lamp on a lampstand. That's the idea of discipleship. Jesus taught his disciples how to be a disciple. And that's what that means. It's hard and it's different. It's different than what we know. But we need to start opening our eyes. Yelawolf is wearing a hat with a cross on it. He's talking to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit being his best friend. Before he introduces Eminem, who goes in and talks about being a minister, and he's gonna destroy, and he shouldn't have been given a mouth, but now that he's given a mouth, he's gonna use it. That's what Eminem is saying in this song. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Eminem talks about being a repenter. He talks about, for the people I've been a menace to, or a minister. He does so many word plays. Musicians do word plays all the time. So minister, menace to, whatever. Not a preacher. He's not a preacher. He's a menace to. So the Apostle Paul was something that's funny. He was both a preacher and an apostle. If you look at the root word for apostle, it's like apostate or apostasy. It's division, it's separation, but he's also a preacher. So it's like he's dividing, but then he's also bringing people back together. It's this weird kind of thing. And he even points out, hey, look, I'm not lying, because it is a lie. It sounds like a lie. It doesn't make any sense. How could you possibly be both an apostle and a preacher? The Apostle Paul says that he is that. Eminem is saying that he's a menace to. So he's dividing, right? He's a crap starter and a finisher. What he's doing is he's finishing things up. Eminem has a lot of funny things in this song. So unless you're my effing belly button, don't tell me nothing. The point is, unless you're my parent, my bloodline, the thing that feeds me as an infant, don't tell me anything. I don't want to hear from you. And that's the idea of the church. The church is it's an institution. It's a business. It's It's not Christ. It's not where Christ is. Christ is outside the church. He has to be. That's the setup. Those are the rules. Christ can't be in the church. Otherwise, we'd already have the second coming. And then on top of that, Christ can't be in the church because the church hasn't learned to forgive. As long as the church continues to condemn and continues to exclude people that want to be part of it, then literally Jesus can't come back because you're casting the same judgment on yourself. That's what Jesus taught. It's also in Leviticus. You can't cast stones and keep people out and then expect yourself to have any other judgment, because it's impossible. It goes against the rules. So quite literally, the church keeps other people out. That's what these guys are singing about. The church is keeping people out, and Yelawolf is saying, "Hey, look, you know what? I don't care what you say. We'll see when we go up to heaven. Go up and see my best friend." Yelawolf says something else that's really interesting. He says, "Try hard to respect other people for what they believe in, but if you spit on my effing grave and wish me hell, then I wish you well." He's like, "Hey, look, spit on my grave. I don't care. I'm going to wish you well. And do you know why? Because that's the judgment. I'm going to wish you well because that's what I want. And I know automatically if I judge you and I wish you well, then I'm going to be judged and wished well." And then he immediately follows that up with, "I'm going to send you straight up to my best friend, to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit." And the reason why he knows that is he's going to cast judgment. He's going to send him up. As soon as he sends him up, that person that spits on his grave and wishes him hell, that means that he ascends too, because it's the same judgment. As soon as he sends somebody up, think of the unrighteous steward. If you send somebody up, if you free somebody, you're automatically freed. Matthew 18:33-35. It's the same concept. We've got to catch on to this. That's what these guys are singing about. They're not singing about something strange or weird. They're singing about God. It's time we catch on. It's time we stop judging.